Does it hurt?
Hurt? No. Actually, I don't recall anything. Hi everyone, welcome to the November 2020 edition of Farsight's Human News, the remote viewing news forecast show that tells you what is going to happen, not what did happen. I am Courtney Brown, director of Farsight. Now, what you just saw was what we at Farsight call a pearl. You see, through our projects we have been developing a history of our planet, our solar system, and our galaxy, a history that dramatically differs from what you learn at school. Farsight is not a parrot of the mainstream. What we show you is new, raw data that you can find nowhere else. We do this with our remote viewing projects, including our mysteries projects that we publish on farsightprime.com. And what we have discovered with our projects is that the history of our planet, solar system, and galaxy is far more complicated than I or anyone I know ever dreamed of. This is why we can only cover this history one project at a time. But it is necessary to connect the dots, to string all of the results from all of our projects together so that a complete narrative can be developed and understood. Well, eventually I will do that both on video and most likely with the book. But that may take years, and we want to give you a behind-the-scenes look right now of where all this is going, to give you the experience of putting everything together, connecting the dots by yourself. That way you can participate in the discovery process, and you can offer your own interpretations of humanity's true history. You can also help explain the complex history of our world to other people. So, to enable everyone to participate in the discovery process, we are publishing these pearls, which are very short dramatizations that capture some element of what we are seeing in our projects, including the projects that we have not yet published. Now, each pearl is either something that actually happened in a project, or it represents something that actually happened, or it actually is a new thing that is happening in the pearl itself, such that the pearl is an actual event. Now, I am not going to interpret the pearls for you. The entire point is for you to figure out the meaning of the pearls, connect the dots, and then for you to help others figure out the meanings. But with each Human News, each ET News, and each Mysteries project from now on, a number of pearls will be embedded in the videos in various spots. Each pearl will also be numbered so that you can keep track of them. Each pearl will give you a clue as to what we are discovering, and we are encouraging everyone to interpret the pearls in the forums on farsightprime.com as well as in the comment sections on YouTube. Now, there is more than one pearl in this video that you're watching now, but just this once, to help you get started on sorting out the clues, let me tell you now that one of the other pearls in this video is at the very end of the video, right before the credits. To give you an idea of how you can try to interpret these pearls, consider this with respect to that particular pearl. Long-distance swimmers who swim out in the open ocean normally do so with the help of a shark cage. That is, they have protection while swimming because they know that sharks are in the water. The only way they can be sure of not being attacked by a shark is when they get up and out of the water. So when you swim where there are sharks, sharks are part of your environment and you need protection from the sharks. Passivity is death, at least when you are in the water where there are live sharks. So that is the hint of how to interpret the pearl that is at the end of this video. Those of you who are subscribers of farsightprime.com will see all of the pearls, since a great many will be embedded in our Mysteries and ET News releases. But I also want to remind you that we now offer a free 7-day trial of farsightprime.com so you can get an idea of everything that is there. Also, remember our apps for Android and Apple. They work great, and you can use them to download our content and watch it offline, or to project our movies and other content onto your TV. For the Apple App Store, search for Farsight TV, and for the Google Play Store, search for Farsight. The name is slightly different for Apple as compared with Google, but the app is the same. Our app is just like the normal apps that you use for, say, Hulu, Netflix, and so on. The app gives you great flexibility and mobility when watching Farsight content. The app is free, and if you are already subscribed to FarsightPrime.com, just sign in and begin watching. And if you are new to FarsightPrime.com, the 7-day free trial will get you up and running. Now, this is important. Our next major mysteries project will be released on the 15th of November, and it is a crucial piece of the puzzle regarding Earth's true history. You have to see it if you want to understand everything that will come after and what is going to be an amazing true story that will explain why we are in the situation we currently are in on this planet. The next major mysteries project is the annihilation of the dinosaurs. You heard right. What we will show you on the 15th of November is that the dinosaurs were indeed wiped out by a giant asteroid or collection of asteroids that impacted the Earth millions of years ago. But what you will also find out is that this was not an event of some random asteroid or asteroids that just happened to be wandering by. It was an act of war, and some may call it an act of genocide. Moreover, all the dinosaurs were not dumb reptiles. Some were sentient beings just like you and me. They were also living in harmony with their very reptilian environment. Now, you honestly have to see the full story in order to understand how complex this is. Also, as you will see with the projects that we will show you in future months, the wars that have racked the solar system over the past are not simply good guy, bad guy things. There have been atrocities on all sides, and control of the solar system has changed so often it is hard to keep track of things. But what we do know is that we humans are currently in a dire struggle for our future as beings in this galaxy, and if we are to figure out what to do, we need to know the full extent of what has happened in the past. Don't pick sides, just watch and absorb. We can sort out what to do once we have more of an understanding of our true past. And again, we are shooting for a release date of November 15th, but this is a big project. If we are a day or two late, please be patient with us. Now, we have a big addition to our live streams happening in November and onward. Starting in November, we are going to live stream 2 really important people, both of whom are members of the board of directors for the Farsight Institute. They are Lynn Buchanan, one of the original military remote viewers and a pioneer in the CRV community, and Dominique Sorel, another pioneer in the CRV community and a former student of Lynn Buchanan. This will be in addition to our other live stream events. We are trying to do the live streams as often as possible, but sometimes we run into deadlines with our other projects and things get complicated. So please be patient as we bring you this new live stream content. Finally, PrinCess Jeaneé and Trudy Benjamin are both separately teaching Farsight's version of remote viewing. If you are interested in personalized individual and group classes, you can contact them at princessviews@gmail.com and info@trudybenjamin.com. So here's a summary of the major stuff happening on FarsightPrime.com, our streaming service. On FarsightPrime.com, you get all of our major releases, past, present, and future. Plus, we have the extraterrestrial news show, Farsight News, that is published on the 7th of each month, a week after this show that you are watching right now. You also get the Farsight Intelligence Briefing, hosted by myself. Now, this intelligence briefing is live streamed, and you can join and ask questions live. On the 15th of each month, we publish our next major mysteries project, and in November 2020, it is the annihilation of the dinosaurs. Additionally, on FarsightPrime.com, we have our economic forecast. We just now released our 2-month, or to be more precise, 8-week forecast for the SP 500. These monthly economic forecasts give us a window into the larger picture of the developing human drama. The next one is out in just a few weeks in November. And again, how do you hear about these things so that you can participate and get the latest when they happen? We use our email list and YouTube to make our major event announcements. So there are 2 things you need to do. First, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel and remember to click on the notifications bell that appears after you subscribe. That is the only way YouTube will notify you of the new events. Just subscribing doesn't do anything. The notifications bell is the important part. But that only notifies you of things that we release on YouTube. To be notified about the things that we release on FarsightPrime.com, which you can watch using our Apple and Android apps or on the web, you need to subscribe to our free email newsletter found on our website at farsight.org. Those are the only 2 ways that you can hear about the live streams and all of our new events. Be sure to do them both. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Farsight, and subscribe to our free email newsletter on our website. The links are in the description area below this video. Those are how we announce what we do. We never send out spam, and we never give our subscriber list to anyone else for any purpose. Also, you can enable notifications in the settings for our Farsight apps so that the apps can notify you of the new content whenever it is uploaded. Our final announcement is that we just released a new 5-year cryptocurrency forecast in our SECO series in October, SECO 5, and we are expecting to release another major new 5-year forecast on a cryptocurrency, SECO 6, in November. Those are priced separately and released on our website, farsight.org, so keep on the lookout for it. One last thing, and this is really important. We are going to be asking something special from all of you starting on the 1st of December. It is new. It does not involve money. It involves something that we will be asking you to do all by yourself every evening. We are setting up everything in November, so please be aware that something really big is about to start in December, and you are the key to making it work. Stay tuned. We will explain everything as we get closer to December 1st. You are getting ready for it now by watching our projects and understanding the complexity of the current condition of humanity. December 1st, we will explain. Now, let's review how we did with our last month's human news forecast, and then we will move on to this month's forecast for November 2020. For October, Kahmia reported on what appears to have been a significant earthquake near a coast, causing some structural damage and a minor tsunami. Well, just today, the last day of October, there was a 6.9 magnitude earthquake that hit off the coast of Turkey and near the Greek island of Samos. The news is just coming in as I record this, but currently there are at least 37 deaths. Plus, buildings have been damaged or toppled entirely in places like Izmir, Turkey, which is Turkey's third largest city. That earthquake very closely matches Kahmia's report. Both Aziz and Melena reported on what appears to be protests in a major urban area. Well, there have been protests in both Thailand and the United States in October, both of which were major. In the United States, the protests followed a police shooting in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The protests have been very violent. The city was put under a curfew, and the police discovered a van loaded with explosives. Nearly all of the details of this protest seem to find a close parallel with Aziz's and Melena's reports. The protests in Thailand are also striking since they seem to be extremely rare protests that are directed at the Thai political system, including the monarchy. Now, Trudy reported on events that seem to involve human trafficking in a non-English speaking coastal area. To be honest, human trafficking is one of the planet's most serious and seriously hidden problems, and I am certain that this went on in October, but we do not have a specific news report on this. Rock Archie reported on what appeared to be a significant airplane crash, possibly over water, with people in the water after the crash. We have no reports of an event that matches the details of that report. Remember that our research indicates unambiguously that we live in a universe with multiple timelines. That is a real fact, not fantasy or science fiction. The science of how that can be is largely fleshed out, even if the majority of mainstream physicists have not yet wrapped their heads around it. So in a situation of multiple timelines, there is no single future that we can identify and describe, since there are an infinite number of past and future timelines. But there are averages, so to speak, across a distribution of timelines, and our viewers have been highly accurate in forecasting the general nature of the news events for each month, even if there have been differences in some of the details. Keep watching each month and see if you can resist the realization that remote viewing is real and truly need to know. And with respect to our forecasts, you need to know. Now let's move on to this month's human news forecast for November 2020. Remember, we could always be wrong, and all remote viewing must be seen as an experiment, not a certainty. But look at the data for yourself. Make your own decisions, and then let's watch the month of November roll out to see what actually happens. We have 4 remote viewers who participated in this month's project: Trudy Benjamin, Aziz Brown, Melena Hall, and Kahmia Dunson. These are reports that are astounding. It is best if you just watch them yourself without me trying to explain them in advance, so let's begin. However, I will return after all of the reports are presented to help pull everything together. One last thing. As you know, we have begun using light boards to present our remote viewing data. The visuals are gorgeous, but there is always a learning curve to all things, and one of the things we have had to understand is how the pens can make squeaking sounds when writing on glass. Well, we have finally solved that problem, and it involves a special way to hold the markers. So, there are far fewer squeaks in today's show, but not all viewers got it perfect this month, since it is hard to remember everything when you are caught up in the intensity of a remote viewing session. So, there are still a few squeaks, even though things are better. Rest assured that all squeaks will be gone as soon as we continue to make the new methods into a habit for all. So let's begin. And remember, the pearls. They are desperately important in the long run.
I'm sensing water and a structure on water near a land-water interface. There's a male subject inside of this structure. I'm also sensing lots of movement towards this land-water interface. There's some type of energetics nearby or created by this structure. I'm noticing structure's man-made, hard, has a silver color. Subject on the inside is very heavy set, fat, male subject. I'm noticing there's lots of pain in the body of this male subject. The structure on water is moving towards land, something fast movement towards land. It's a mixture of different colors. I'm seeing green, yellow, orange, blue, brown. The water is very muddy and dirty. I'm noticing brown colors in the water and blue colors. It's like the event or situation that's here is creating muddy water that smells bad. The subject on the inside is in a lot of pain and is a bit old. The cause of this event is, I'm visualizing the subject lying down in pain inside of this structure on land. Something about the subject being in pain is the cause of this target event. The sounds on the inside of this structure on water is like rumbling sounds. I'm getting the visuals of cloud dynamics. Something about the structure on water is moving fast because the subject is lying down and in pain. I'm going to move to the subject lying down in a structure on land. At the initial moment of the target event, I visualize subjects inside of a structure that's moving very fast on land, near a land-water interface. There's lots of beeping sounds. I'm visualizing a big male subject. They're shouting. I'm sensing pain inside of the chest area of this subject. There are multiple structures nearby. The structures are really large, kind of reminds me of a city with man-made structures. structure the subject is inside is man-made as well, but it's moving very fast towards another structure. I'm noticing the structure is having struggles breathing. The subject is having struggles breathing, sensing very heavy set subject that is pale skin. The subject is either hearing talking around him, shouting, or he is shouting and he is talking. I'm visualizing someone lying or continuously lying about something. There's lots of pain. The water nearby is dirty. I'm sensing a lot of pain in the chest area. Something about emails. Visualizing beeping sounds and hearing beeping sounds, hearing shouting, hearing lying, like somebody's talking about lying or someone is talking and they're lying to the subject. I'm noticing the movement inside of this structure is surrounding this subject. Subject is lying down. Someone's shouting really loud. It's annoying actually to hear. They're shouting about something, or the shouting is creating the pain. Like the subject is dying, but the pain is something they're lying about. The temperature inside of this structure is very warm temperatured or very hot. The air is mucky. Visualizing the color orange. There's chemical smells on the inside of this structure. And they're moving to a larger structure. There's a structure nearby that this vehicle is moving towards. I'm visualizing a fast-moving structure with multiple subjects on the inside, and there's a male subject that is slowly dying while they move towards another structure. Something about this subject lies a lot, and sensing that the subject is either lying about dying or lying about something that is causing the death. Noticing there's fast movement. Noticing there's fast movement towards this structure, but the subject on the inside is having pain while there's a focused gathering going on around him. Like there's something about the situation that's painful, and there's a focused gathering just paying attention to him, talking to him, shouting at him, talking to him, shouting at him, and it's causing pain in his chest. I'm noticing fast movement. There's lots of different colors. The subject is older male. I'm noticing movement towards a building-like structure that's really big. There's multiple subjects on the inside of this structure. While this subject is being shouted at or is shouting, there's lots of chaos revolved around him. Like this event is like this event is serious to the focused gathering that surrounds him. The structure they move into is filled with subjects. It's like a focused gathering on the inside. It's like there's like crowds of people. I'm visualizing lots of subjects on the inside of this structure that this vehicle is moving towards. And everybody's just revolved, like the thoughts are all revolved around this male subject. I see the colors gray, the colors blue and red and orange. inside of the structure is very white and bright, and I'm noticing there's lots of beeping sounds, kind of like a ding. I'm noticing the subject is very angry. He's mad, he's irritated, he's annoyed, he's talking and shouting at people and yelling while being in pain and frustrated, and lying and really annoying while he's in pain. It's like the subjects around him are continuously talking to him, continuously trying to get him to say stuff, continuously trying to get answers from him while he's just like, there's pressure on his chest. There's a point in time where the subject starts to lie down, and during the target event, and I'm visualizing this subject slowly dying or almost dying. But the pain is revolved around the chest area. The subject is quite angry, actually. Something about this target event makes this subject really mad, or the subject around him that continuously talk to him or continuously shouts at him causes him to be very angry, and the anger is causing the pain in his chest. The subject is very smart. I'm noticing that the subject is getting more attention than he should be. He's lying about something repetitively. And he's annoyed about something. Something about lies, great lies, lies that are smart. Lies on a big screen, or I'm visualizing a screen, or like a TV or a computer screen. There's just something about lies on a screen that continues to be told by this subject. I'm continuously sensing electronics and visuals of big bright lights coming from electronics. Something about the beeping sounds is because of the electronics. The electronics around the subject are creating the annoyance. He's annoyed by the process of the electronics showing something that's a lie, or he's lying about something on the screen. It all creates too much pressure in his chest area. There is a structure on land with a crowd of subjects on the inside. There is a lot of movement and a lot of talking and screaming and chatting. Something about the male subject is the primary subject of this target. I'm noticing lots of beeping sounds and talking sounds. The subject seems to be lying down somewhere in this structure. There's a few subjects nearby this subject, but there's a crowd and a focus gathering on the inside of this big, large structure. I'm visualizing the color white. I'm noticing a lot of tension and annoyance and anger. Something about this reminds me of a show. Something about this reminds me of like a TV show. I'm visualizing subjects like acting or lying on TV about something that's happening. The male subject in the center is really annoyed. There is a very large vehicle nearby that's moving really, really fast towards this location. I'm also sensing waiting. Something is being waited on. Hear the word March. Started in March. Hearing, it kind of reminds me of like a TV show. This event reminds me of like a game show where there's a winner, but you have to be tested to see if you get the answer right. But the event is kind of like, I'm hearing the word test, I'm hearing the word March, I'm hearing the word TV show, like the subject is watching himself, and he's very angry and annoyed and in pain. While he's lying down, slowly dying because of the chest area. Something smells bad. There's still a land-water interface nearby, somewhere in this city-like area. The subject's talking and shouting aren't shouting at the subject. There's just too many subjects. There's too much of a crowd. The crowd is either focused on one thing or focused on the other, but in the middle of this target event, this subject is not wanting to die, but is dying and is waiting on something while they watch themselves. I hear the phrase starting a watch list. Something about a test that needs to start a watch list. I'm visualizing pain moving downward on the body. Visualizing a countdown, like time ticking. There's less time and there's a countdown. Something about this male subject is now sad and disappointed, irritated. There's a distraction that continues to be talked about and lied about. There's something that has to be dealt with, that the subject is lying about. The truth about something needs to be told by this male subject. There's something that was started in the past that this male subject needs to tell the truth about. Lots of movement in the location by subjects towards this main subject. It's like everybody is crowding around this subject. It's either they're crowding around each other or crowding around this subject while he's watching himself on like a screen. This focus gathering is chaotic and annoying. It's annoying to listen to, it's annoying to watch, but it's also very sad to see, and this male subject is dying.
For my first visual, I'm getting a regular slope, like a hill over here, as well as some flat land. I'm also getting some, use a different color, some tannish structures, tan hues with these structures that are sort of making it seem like a urban-ish area, or just just a bunch of structures sort of in a cluster over here. Let me extend the land a little bit further. Yeah, so this seems like the general environment. Seems to be like some flat land, hill over here, and an urban area over there, or a bunch of structures that are together. They seem like a little bit of a lower elevation just at first glance, but we'll do more investigation. Inside the urban area, I'm getting this visual of subjects with headgear on, multiple subjects. They seem like they're in sort of a marching-ish movement type of motion. They, well, I mean, their helmets aren't that wide. I mean, I should have made them a little bit more compact, but yeah, they all seem to give off a bit of a military vibe. I mean, they're holding objects and stuff like that that are longer. And yeah, there's a bunch of them. So I'll just have to take some time just to draw out these subjects, but they are in this urban area. They seem to be moving in a linear direction, like they're all moving towards something equally, and they're not very chaotic. They seem like they're not really like passing each other or anything. It seems like they're all one cohesive group. So draw the rest of them as stickmen, because there are a lot of them, lots and lots of these guys sort of in a group, and they're all mushing in one direction. And now let me see if I can illustrate the urban area that they're around. So yeah, it seems like they're all quite serious. I don't really see much of a noticeable expression on any of them that's very eye-catching, but they all just seem like rather serious, and they're in motion. They're all moving in one direction. Seemingly, it also seems like it's kind of uphill, like they're moving up a slope in this sort of like that type of pace as well. So, okay, moving on. So just to give another perspective that I'm seeing in another visual, I'm seeing a long, tallish, thinner structure amidst the urban area, maybe like a circle over there or something. But just all these structures. I'm also noticing a land-water interface as well. So let me draw up a little more structures. The urban area seems like it's sizable. And here's the land-water interface. It sort of extends out that way a little bit. Make that there. And yeah, let's get this. Okay, great. All right, so yeah, urban area. Have this tallish structure over here, sort of seems to pop out above the rest, and a little bit of water off on one side. And that does seem to be a bit better of a description of what the urban area itself looks like, just sort of looking over it. So that we'll move on again. All right, so moving to the center of the target, I'm getting the sense of this interior of some room, and it seems like there's a lot of stuff on the walls, like sort of boxy shapes on the walls. So I mean, there's far more than I'm illustrating here, but let me just draw out a couple so you can get the idea, the general picture. And there's some over here. 2, 3. All right, some last ones. Okay, great. Also, I'm seeing some subjects. There's 3 of them. Well, seemingly there's 3 at the moment. Maybe there's more elsewhere or something, but right here I'm just seeing 3 subjects, and this sort of takes up the center of the target. So when I'm perceiving for the center of the target, I'm seeing this, just an interior, some boxier room, and I'm seeing 3 subjects standing there. And I guess we'll have to move on to the target activity to find out what happens next. Okay, so I'm getting this interior of a room when I'm probing for the target activity and the target event. I'm going to draw this out in 2 parts. So what I'm seeing here is, here we've got our subject. He's right here, and he's not having a good time. It's like he's visibly shaking. He's very worried, panic. His mind's kind of frozen, but you'll get to see why very soon. So here is where all of our uniformed subjects are, and there's a bunch of them. They're all waiting out here, and I shouldn't say that they're waiting because they're let me put one behind them. Okay, that's a bad drawing, but you get the idea. There's a bunch of them. They're all here. So I'm also getting this huge burst of energetics just blasting out of the door. When this happens, this subject, he's sort of like, he's already shaking in fear like this, and then this sort of thing, and then he's like really starts shaking, and then he stumbles back, lands sort of like, falls on the ground just a little bit. These guys are rushing in. And let me draw it from the other side so you can see this is kind of like, I'll use this space over here, you can see kind of this is what's going on the outside of this structure. So you've got this, this structure here. You've got this door looking opening type of thing. It's currently closed. And you've got a lot of these subjects with headgear on, hard headgear. And they all have these linear objects that they've got, and let me draw the helmets first, and the heads. Boom. And yeah, so they're all here. Here's the door. They've got some other dude who's coming through, and he's like right here. And he has another object, and he's moving that way. So we'll sort of divide this. This is an opposite perspective than this, like perpendicular. So if this were kind of looking at like an ant farm, we're looking at it side to side. You see the guys on the inside. These are the guys. Well, this is the guy on the inside. These are the guys on the outside. From their perspective, they're looking at it like this. They've got a row of guys here, a row of guys here. Here's the opening. Here's a dude. He's got an object, sort of longish object, and he's moving towards the door. What seems to happen next is this activity, this energetic sort of pops out. He's like, oh! And then he like, that's pretty much all the data I have for the target.
My first visual, I'm seeing large, small structures. And this one structure looks white, grayish. Looks pretty modern, kind of old on the outside. Also getting vehicles. Outside this area. I'm seeing a lot of subjects outside. Just a busy area. Feels like city. Like I'm in a town. Center of the structure, again, this circular area, almost like a table. All types of halls and seating area inside this structure. Looks like an arena and also like a courtroom. Just have a lot of people walking around this area. A large public place. Subjects in uniform, mostly older subjects here. Just a lot of walking around and people entering this area and I'm getting very important subjects in this center. Again, it's like levels to this inside area. Okay, here's my third visual. This area, again, is very business-like inside this structure. Feels like a political event here. So many subjects inside. They're like spaced out in seating, but there's subjects inside. Again, in this area, subjects in these uniform, high-class people. There's important people sitting in this center. In the center, I'm getting a lot of lights here. Light around this area. I'm getting a sense of heat. It's very hot. I'm also seeing smoke come from below and above. A lot of moving around. Subjects are scared. This smoke is like just coming, like it's like steam just coming from the bottom of the structure. And subjects are panicking. They're leaving this area, leaving this whole structure, looking towards outside structure. There's still vehicles outside. There's still subjects here. A lot of subjects are like leaving this area really fast. People are clueless, don't know what's going on. You can hear the smoke coming from the top of the building. Subjects that are old, they just don't know. They're trying to figure things out, looking around. It feels like a setup. This had to have been a very important day for these subjects, but it seems like it's been set to stop this event.
Starting off, I have this land here, and it has slightly irregular topography in the background, but there's structures here, like a lot of structures here. They all kind of look the same, but a little bit different, you know. There's one distinct structure over here that kind of looks like way different than all the other ones. So structures, structures, structures. And then there seems to be like this divide in between both of these, like structures on this side, structures on this side, and then some sort of like man-made land in between. Yeah, like that. Okay. I hear a lot of rumbling, a lot of like loud, like thunder sounds, you know, stuff that sounds like a lot of things are kind of, like heavy things are on the ground. And I sense that there's subjects here as well, but they kind of feel like they're also like not here. Like they're fading in and out of existence almost. Like there's some subjects here, and they seem to be all like inside of the structures for the most part. Okay. So then I also hear this like loud, like very loud popping noise, and this kind of looks like it leaves like a hole or something in the ground here. It's kind of like right over here. There's like this big hole in the ground. And it's giving off a lot of energetics, a lot of it's like smoke and stuff. So it's just everywhere. And it almost leaves this like smoky haze like all over this city, all over these structures. There's like a smoky haze everywhere. Okay, I'm drawing in those little slight irregular topography back here. Okay, yeah. So again, this whole thing is big hole, loud noises. Looks like it's giving off a lot of light as well, a lot of brightness. I can see it like reflecting in the background of everything else. So just like rays of like light back here too. All that big popping noise. Okay, so after this like thing kind of basically explodes right here, I can feel that all these structures, they feel like they're like breaking down and being destroyed. So now I've got like holes in my structures and stuff, you know, like broken structures everywhere. And then I also sense that there's this like non-surface structure kind of hidden like in the clouds almost. So there's just like one non-surface structure here. So I've got this non-surface structure here as well, and it seems to be just like moving so fast through the sky. And so I've got this non-surface structure here in the sky, and it seems to move like super fast. Like it's like it comes out of nowhere, and it just comes, and then as soon as it's there, you know, it's like this whole big explosion kind of happens. So it seems like there's subjects here, but like a lot of them are like not here, like missing, or they've kind of like left already, you know, but there's still subjects that kind of hang around. And when I do like a deep mind probe of these subjects, they feel very devastated. They feel like there's not really much more they can do for themselves. They do feel very defeated and like almost empty shells of people. They almost feel like they're not really like there consciously. Yeah. Moving to the cause of this event, I do sense that there's like subjects here, and I sense like heavy emotions from this subject. It feels like this subject kind of feels like discontent or a little angry almost. It feels like a male subject here. And he's on the base surface, inside a structure, and he just feels like he's just chilling there with an attitude, like a bad attitude. So the subject does have he has like a kind of a rounder head almost, and he's got these like slightly slanted eyes going on, and he has, I can just see like this thick little mustache on him too. little facial hair and little mouth and nose. Yeah, there you go. And then he's got like short hair on the top of his head too, kind of like brown or black hair, short hair. Average built. What's not average is his attitude though. It's mixed with this like hate and anger, and he just seems so like upset. And it feels almost like a revenge thing, you know. He's got something against either this place or these people, but that is tied together. And I'm also getting this feeling that like his mind is a little like off, like his mind lies to him, right? Almost like he has a mental illness of some sort. It feels like it's very deluded, like he's almost delusional in the amount of hate and anger that he has. It feels not necessarily like justified and true, if that makes sense. It just feels like he's kind of making things up in his head to make him upset about this place.
Okay, let's draw some conclusions from these data. November is going to be a really event-filled month. The world does not come apart in November, but there is ongoing disruptions and protests. The causes of the disruptions seem to be varied. It is not just one thing or one type of thing. Join me in the month of November as we keep our eyes wide open. These are experiments in remote viewing, and we could be wrong, but our track record with the application of remote viewing is really strong, so let's wait and see what happens during the month. I am sure we will get some things right and some things wrong, but the unique character of these forecasted events is such that we should have no trouble identifying them if and when they occur. So that is it for our November 2020 edition of Farsight's Human News, the news before it happens. Thank you for watching. Please also join us next month in December 2020 for another look into the future of Earth humans. Also, be sure to look for the new releases on FarsightPrime.com this month, including our live stream events, the Farsight ET News, the live intelligence briefing with myself, and the next major new mysteries release on November 15th, the annihilation of the dinosaurs, as well as the next Farsight 2-month economic forecast. I am Courtney Brown, Director of Farsight.